Hello, my name is Price and this is It's Price. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and for always coming to watch our videos. Today I'm back with my guest. He's called Julius and we're going to be giving you another video. So let him introduce himself with his full titles.
Okay, my names are Uwimana Julius. Those are my full names. They can be regarded as my titles as of now.
So the reason I said that you introduce yourself with your full titles is because today I'm going to be talking about the education sector, the new curriculum that the Kenyans are using this year. You know, it's called the CBS. What's CBS in CBC? CBC. What's CBC for people who are watching?
Yeah, it's called a competence-based curriculum.
Competence-based curriculum. That is the curriculum that they are using as of this year onwards. Do you think it's working and were they ready for it?
As far as I'm concerned, okay, I'm just saying what I've been watching on news, because I always follow Kenyan news on Twitter, social medias, even their newspapers. I read The Nation, I read Citizen. I've seen so many people have been complaining that it was ill thought of, the government wasn't ready. So however much they've implemented it, I think they weren't ready. The Kenyan government should sit down with all the stakeholders. The stakeholders, I mean the ministry, the teachers, parents, students. They see how far they can go, because I would encourage them to keep going because they are taking the rightful direction. I can assure you the former curriculum wasn't leading anywhere. Actually, all this unemployment we are seeing is because of the former curriculum. That is the same thing we are using in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, almost everywhere. We are just using the old curriculum which Kenya is trying to run out from. So if Kenya can get it right, we can also buy or pick a leaf from it and move forward. Because we also need to fight, we need to make things right. The former curriculum, we just picked it from our colonialists. We need to run out from our colonialists. We need to start doing our own things our own way.
So you said that they have faced so many challenges. What are some of those challenges?
Yeah, the challenges they are facing, even the teachers themselves don't know about what CBC is all about. The parents don't know, the students don't know. Really, the truth is they weren't ready for this whole thing.
I have to cut you short. Parents don't know, teachers don't know, students don't know. So what are they doing?
Exactly, that's why I was coming in. All the stakeholders, like I've talked about them, teachers, parents, the government officials, especially the Minister of Education, they need to sit down and see how best they can move forward. Because you see now, running up from the former curriculum and joining this curriculum where you're supposed to try and find out what good is in a kid and try to build that till you make sure this kid goes to the market, to the labor market after school, is much different from just learning these other lessons we've been doing, science, social studies, geography, you know. And you see these teachers have been accustomed to that. They also need prior training to start teaching kids and see how best they can move the new curriculum forward.
So they did not train the teachers?
They tried, but I can assure you this thing is a very huge change. It's a very big, it's not like these small changes where you just wake up and say, this chair is here, let me shift it to the other side. We are talking about something which is affecting the whole country, affecting the whole education system from the lower to the upper levels. You get it? So it's something that they really need to find out a workable solution. Now that they've already started, they shouldn't be discouraged despite the setbacks. Let them sit down and see how best they can move forward.
So what is special about this new curriculum? That they had to throw away the old one and begin on this new one. What's special about this one?
Okay, in layman's language, the former curriculum was really based on the teachers, because the things are already set, biology is set, chemistry is set, history is set. Then you study all those things up to the end, which at some point you might not need. Because you see, okay, let me give an example. Like in Uganda, in senior 1 we had 32 subjects, senior 3 we had 9 subjects, senior 3, senior 4, then senior 6 we had 4 subjects. But all this, if you could ask me, I wasted all my time doing all those unnecessary 32 subjects in senior 1. I would have picked like 3 or 4 that may have moved me to where I wanted to go. Then we are first talking about the order and this CBC. But with the CBC, its theory, its main purpose is you pick a child, train this child, identify their own strengths, weaknesses, see where they fit most, train them in that same line. In relation to the job market, you're training this child based on the job market. This child is not studying all these unnecessary subjects to reach in front and throw them away. This child is only studying things which are relevant to them till they enter the job market. That's the difference.
But do you think it is easy to identify what somebody is interested in? What if I want to be a footballer? So are they going to teach me how to play football? And that's all? What specific features are they looking for? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you very well. And exactly that's what we've been talking about. You see, a student is supposed to be a footballer, but you make them pass through 8 years. I think in Kenya it's 8, primary 4. You make someone waste 16 years when you're training them to become like an engineer, and yet these same people are supposed to be footballers. So this CBC, I'm 100% sure with the CBC, they can know from down that this kid is supposed to be an athlete or a footballer. Then they take you to the academy straight away. They don't waste your time passing through the whole school system. So it's possible, since we are now looking at the strengths of individual students, individual kids, you can still find out that this kid is supposed to be a musician. You send them to the music school straight away. Not first wasting their time by teaching them the Gobiam Jenny, the West African history, the slavery, Canadian prairies, which are completely out of context. So here we are talking about not wasting people's time. Teach people what is relevant, what will help them in the near future. Not just saying that I have 10,000 students who have finished senior 6 and none of them can even do the simplest thing. And yet at the end of the day, they had all these things when they are still young, but they were distorted by just implanting on them things which are already preset, mathematics, geography, something like that.
Oh, that sounds so good on paper. When they sell you that idea, you can pay any amount for it, but putting it to implement it, it must be really, really hard. Would you advise other East African countries to follow the same curriculum?
Yeah, okay, before I answer that question, okay, I'm also, your last statement, you're saying that it looks simple on paper, but implementation, and I concur with you. At the end of the day, we need to first be serious. Let's first forget about these political games we are in, and just know we are dealing with our future. The kids of today are the future of tomorrow. If we can sit down, I can assure you nothing hard. There's nothing hard which can't be done by human beings. Right? You get it? There's nothing, completely everything, as long as you put your time, you put your effort to it, it's simple. Like, of course, since we are talking about Kenya, You know, Eliud Kipchoge, this athletic, who has broken almost all the records. You say no human is limited. You practically we can do anything as long as we put our efforts, as long as we put all our energies to it. The first thing we need to do is we need to be serious and know that we are playing around with the future of our generations to come. So the earlier we correct that mistake now, the better. And I know it is possible.
It is very possible. So,
I think I hadn't answered your question. You're asking me whether other East African countries can borrow a reef or can do the same thing. I entirely encourage, I entirely agree to that same setting. Because sometimes I sit down and even look back and see how much time I wasted with history, how much time I wasted with geography, and those things I'm not applying them anywhere. So if I can teach my kid, we can teach our kids how to survive in the near future, how to fit properly in the job market, because that's what we are looking at. Here we are only teaching irrelevant things, but with the CBC, you're trying to see what is in the market, and that's what you are preparing your kids to be. So we need to really get rid of all our curriculums are completely obsolete. They are useless. Let me use that word. And I wouldn't shy away from using it. They are useless. Let's just try to teach people things which are relevant. Because what is now the history that I learned, the Govia Mujenis, they were crazy. What is it helping me?
Let me cut you short. You know, with this curriculum that we're using in Uganda, you can die without even identifying what you're supposed to be in your life.
Exactly. That is the exact thing I was trying to drive at.
Yeah.
Because you see, they are teaching us to pass, but they are not telling us the truth that there is life after passing. Because once you've passed and you've reached outside, you need to survive as long as you're still under the sun on this planet Earth. So I would encourage really all our governments, especially the education sector in the whole region. Let's, I think, stop wasting people's time. Let's try to do relevant things. Let's try to identify especially talents. Because you see one thing, this education system has also killed talents. We should accept that. People are being told to their family, your father, your mother wants you to become a doctor. They are insisting you're supposed to become a doctor. And yet you're supposed to be a musician, you're supposed to be an athlete. Yeah? You get it, they are forcing you something, you're going to do it, pass it in class. You reach outside, you can't even still practice that profession they are forcing you to do. So it's high time, especially our old parents, you should stop putting pressure on your kids to be so and so, be an engineer, be a doctor, be a lawyer. Those are things of the past. When your populations were still down where you would even finish school and the job is waiting for you. Now, like in Uganda, almost our population is close at 50. I think Kenya is in 50 plus population. So if you're looking at such kind of populations, the job market cannot absorb those number of lawyers you're creating, because it's the system which is creating these people, but they are not meant to be in those positions. You see, most of those people went there to please their parents. So let's try to be realistic, know that a kid can survive as a musician, can survive as a footballer, can survive as a storyteller, can survive as a writer, can survive as a YouTuber, as an influencer. Let's try to do things which are relevant ourselves. Let us stop wasting time. I'm insisting on that, because the current curriculums we are having are surely wasting people's time and money, which you never recover.
All right, thank you so much, Julius, for your time. I think when we finally have that CBC in Uganda, it will be easy for us, because we are going to learn from Kenyans, their mistakes, the challenges. So when we finally bring it in Uganda, we'll at least have some knowledge about it, and we'll know where to start from. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching up to this time, don't forget to subscribe, and don't also forget to give this video a thumbs up. You have anything to say, or we say bye bye to our subscribers?
Okay, maybe the last thing I should be saying is that my brothers and sisters in Kenya, you shouldn't feel bad when you are saying that you're going to learn from your mistakes. The truth is, you are the first people to do it.
Yeah.
So, us, we shall come and say through your sweat. So you better sweat for us in the right.
So you should put the right steps.
You should put the right steps such that we also don't come and start struggling. We need to come and, when we are just passing, shh. So, yeah, because at the end of the day, we shall also be struggling with other things. You come and learn from us.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way. You learn from, we shall learn from you, we also learn from us.
Okay.
And thank you for watching.
And bye bye.